Hello, and welcome to episode 402 of Prog Reviews. Today I'm talking about Keynsham by the Bonzo Dog Band, or Dog Doodah Band, or the Bonzo Band, or whatever you want to call them. Keynsham. I don't want to talk about it, but you must, Darren. You must, because we're doing Prog Review. This is the fourth studio album by the Bonzos. The Bonzos. We've not really touched on them. We haven't really touched on the Bonzos, have we? Are they prog? Who gives a fuck? I used to tour with Yes, so so they must be prog. There's a great picture of the band all together with Yes and that. But anyway, we love us the Bonzos. We worship at the shrine of Vivian Stanshall. He was a Walthamstow boy, like I said, from my neck of the woods. So, yeah, we are in the Bonzo camp, very much so. It starts, this album, which again released in November 1969, and it sounds so fresh. It really does. I thought it was released later than that. I never really take much notice of when the albums were. It's only when I do these things I go, oh, wow, 69, November 69 this was released. Again, you've got to remember that the Bonzos, if you're not familiar with them, were that good that the Beatles used them in Magical Mystery Tour, in the film. They were the band that did Death Cab for Cutie with the stripper, that scene, you know. That's so good. And Paul McCartney produced, which single was it? Was it Mr. Apollo? One of those ones. No, what am I talking about? Urban Spaceman, wasn't it? Urban Spaceman? Yeah, that sounds right. Early morning reviews. My brain juices are not circulating at the moment, and so I start remembering things all wrong. Some Paul McCartney under the pseudonym Apollo C. Vermouth. Yeah, there you go. If that comes up in Trivial Pursuit, you've got the answer. Very unlikely. But anyway, this opens with the fantastically stomping "You Done My Brain In," which is exactly how I'm feeling now. My brain is done in. These early morning prog reviews, because it's the summer holidays still and the kids are home, I have to do them now because, after 9 o'clock it's like, there! And so this is why we do them early, and this is why they're a bit crap. But yeah, it starts with "You Done My Brain In," which is absolutely, I like it. It's a right stomper. And it's Neil Innes doing his best thing, and then that opens. Then after that follows the title track "Kingship," which is only a tiny little thing. Again, another little Innes track, and it's just Kingship. Tell me about Kingship. I don't want to talk about it. It's just hilarious, and that leads us into "Quiet Talks and Summer Walks," which is. Again, is as far removed from the Bonzos as you're going to get, and this is what I like about them, because they do this ridiculously silly stuff, and then they get these very kind of serious songs buried in the albums. And "Quiet Talks and Summer Walks" is a song written from the perspective of a tree, and he's watching two lovers spending time together underneath his branches. I think it's how you interpret it, and it's just it's a beautiful love song. I just think it's absolutely marvellous, and that's followed by "Tent" by Vivian Stanshall. I'm gonna get you to my tent, where we can both experiment, which is the antithesis of a love song. And this is what they do. They lull you into a false sense of security, and you think, oh, that's nice, and then suddenly they smash you over the head with something so deliberately daft. It's beautiful. This is followed by "We Were Wrong." Again, it's another Vivian Stanshall song, and it's a couple who are very much in love. This is an album full of love. And then that's followed by "Joke Shop Man," which is just the most brilliant. It encapsulates what it was like to be a child, what it happens to be a boy in those days, where you go into the joke shop and you'd see plastic dog poo and invisible ink and insects trapped in plastic to make like an ice cube, and false lips and eyeballs on springs and glasses and false noses, and you go in there and you'd be like mystified, and it'd be like an Aladdin's cave, and that's this song. You know, it's put to music. That feeling is put to music of joy and delight, and it's just a great song. And it's only 1 minute 23 seconds. Fantastic. This is followed by the Bride Stripped Bare by Bachelors, which I think it takes its name from a painting, I think. And yeah, it's about the experiences of the band travelling around, and that's it really. It's all about going to gigs and travelling in the van, and it again captures life on the road really, really well. You think it's all glamorous, and it isn't. It's being told off by the club secretary, not to mention football, and don't scratch the piano, that kind of thing. And then we have a tiny little track called "Look at Me, I'm Wonderful," which there's this character, and this character turns up he also turns up on Neil Innes' albums and the Innes Book of Records. Remember that? He's kind of this singer crooner from America who's self-obsessed and better than us, and as it's the title, "Look at Me, I'm Wonderful," which is something I often say to myself when I look in the mirror. And then one of the most amazing tracks is "What Do You Do?" Against another Neil Innes song, and it's and the reason I find it amazing is it's the bass line. It's just an amazing bass, bit of bass for 1969. The bass wasn't a big instrument. It was just there. But this, I'm just seeing who played the bass, because I always forget their names. I think it was Dennis Cowan, I believe. That sounds about right. Dennis Cowan, he died. He died quite young, septicemia, if I remember, if my brain's working properly. But his bass work on that is just absolutely fantastic. And again, it's about how mundane life is. What do you do? I don't know, but I know I do it every day. Why do you do what you do? I don't know, but I do it anyway. And it's just again, it's like a round robin lyric, and it illustrates how life can be robotic and automatic, and you need to be like that just to get through it. And it's done by, it's a great metaphysical song by the Bonzos, examining life. And this is, of course, has to be followed by Mr. Slater's parrot, because Rodney Slater had a parrot that called who hated everyone. He was an antisocial parrot, apparently, and there's a song about it, and they used that in the Cadbury's Mini Egg commercial quite a few years back now. But there you go. Sport the Odd Boy against Vivian Stanshall. And if you were ever one of those boys, I was one of those boys who hated sport. This song's for you. It's an odd boy who doesn't like sport. That's the thrust of it. If you're a rather queer sort, if you don't like the old sports, but that song's for you. Again, we have another great love song from Innes, "I Want to Be With You." It's almost kind of a nod to the Beatles, but it's a lovely, nice song. "Noises for the Leg" again is more daftness from Stanshall, and the album ends with another great track, "Busted." I got busted. They say I'm maladjusted. I got busted by the law. And I just, his mother will be disgusted. I just love it. It's a great song, and it's a great. It's just one of my favourites. That's why I'm doing it. And again, it's just a great record. And again, the references. You have to be British and of a time to get some of the references, like the title of the album, Keynsham. They mention a fella called Horace Batchelor a lot, and he used to read out the pools results. What's the pools results, Darren? We have this thing called the football pools, where you have to guess the scores, and if you get the scores right, you win. You win money. It's not so big now, but it used to be really big in the 60s and the 70s. And Horace Batchelor used to spell out various places on Radio Luxembourg, Keynsham, and so the Bonzos use that in their album. And again, I just think it's marvellously British. Is it progressive? I don't care. I just think it's brilliant. They're certainly pushing music forward, and I just think it's a fantastic record. On the Wikipedia, it's described as comedy rock, psychedelic pop, and music hall. That's not how I describe any of it. Musical? Are you serious? This one's a reissue, because you buy the reissues. The 2007 reissue, there's some really good sleeve notes, but you also have some bonus tracks. Are You Having Any Fun? Which is an old track. How Sweet to Be an Idiot. Oasis ripped that off, didn't they? For one of their songs, and had to pay Neil Innes a royalty. Then there's When Yuba Played the Rumba on the Tuba Down in Cuba by Roger Ruskin Spear. Of course, Vivian Stanshall's covered The Young Ones and the fantastic Witchy Tai To by Topper de Bill. Again, it scores 5 tenths out of 5. 5 tenths out of 5. If you want to laugh, if you want something to raise your spirits, it's got to be the Bonzos and Keynsham every time. Mrs. used to live in a place called Keynsham House. Don't know if it was spelt the same. Might have been, but we always laugh about it whenever we listen to the record. But there you go. I think we need to cover more Bonzos. Oh yes, you'll like that. It's not prog. Couldn't give a fuck. Anyway, my name's Darren. I've been talking about Kingship by the Bonzos. And thank you for passing by. Remember to this video or that, because I know a lot of you like doing that. Doesn't matter. It's all social engagement. You're engaging with me, and that puts me up in the ratings, And so if you didn't do that, then that'd be actually a better thing, because then I wouldn't be up in the search list. Because you'll do. You see, that's how it works. They're clever, these Google people. They're clever. They're very clever. Then there's the old social media. There's the sit me Facebook, tickle me Twitter. Fuck knows what Google Plus is doing anymore. Who knows? But it's all there. It's all there for you to discover. I post all the new pictures in my Facebook page, by the way. And of course, there's the music.darrenlock.com, where you can fill your boots with tunes from Muggins here. And then of course there's the patreon.com/lock, where you can throw a few shekels my way to keep the good ship boop, boop, Prog review sailing on the seas of Prog. And that's it. I'm done. Oh God. Thanks for coming by. Prog on.